you've survived another week. Thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing to the Black Man with a Gun Show. This is the family-friendly gun owners podcast that you can learn and discover American history, fun, new stuff, training tips, and news from leaders in the industry. The topic of guns is political, but that is not where we go with it. This week, tips on saving you money in the gun community, and a little information about personal security, ways you can harden yourself. Michael J. Woodland is going to talk about the EDC, and a new feature from MarylandShallIssue.org plays this week on episode number 592. This show is sponsored by good people like you. Yes, you can support the show by going to patreon.com/blackmanwithagun. You see, I'm trying to meet you next season, so if you'll consider donating the price of a cup of your favorite beverage once a month, you can make that happen for me. Patreon.com/blackmanwithagun. And now you know how we do. Let's start this episode with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Believe it or not, crime is going to increase in 2019. And I don't need a magic 8-ball to tell you that. Money is going to get tight, and there's going to be a larger divide between the haves and the have-nots. So as we think about buying more stuff this week, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday, I want to give you a little something to think about here on episode 592. Black Man with a Gun Reloaded. I've been a gun rights activist since 1991. I've traveled and testified in 5 states to change concealed carry laws for all citizens. Before social media, I've been here. I created a website named from the book I wrote in 1999 called Black Man with a Gun. You can get the updated version on Amazon.com. It's called Black Man with a Gun Reloaded. It will give you some background on my life, what I've done, and information on how you can handle family and friends that don't quite understand your belief in the Second Amendment. I give you some mental ammo to help fight the good fight, as well as a glossary of terms to make you smarter and more informed. Get the book that started it all for me, Black Man with a Gun Reloaded, on Amazon. All right, we are trying something new, and we're going to see how it works. How about security around the holidays? You know, stuff is going down. But you know, you can make yourself less of a target from bad guys if you just do some smarter stuff. Lower your profile. Yeah, it's that easy. Don't make yourself an easy target. Now, I'm not talking about against an armed threat. I'm talking about regular old crime, regular criminals, regular thugs, regular folks who are jealous of what you have and want to take it. You ready for it? I got a boatload of stuff here. This is a little bit from my past. I want to harden your target. I want to make you a better person, security profile wise. I'm a professional protector. So some of this stuff is obvious, but some of it's not. Let's start off with the house. How about unlisting your home address and phone number? You know, your name is very public. People who meet know it, especially those in construction trades and otherwise work for yourself under your own name. Your home address doesn't need to be public, though. Unlisting your number and address in the phone book is one of the easiest steps to make your address a little harder to find. Landlines are more and more uncommon these days, but it's inappropriate for any directory. Number 2, how about avoiding using your name? Don't put your family name on the mailbox or on your house. Don't use your full name in any directories or outgoing voicemail message. If you have to give your name, use your first initial and last name. Here's one I bet you haven't thought about. How about Googling yourself? One of the earliest and easiest ways for gun thieves to track you down is to type your name in a search engine. Type your own name in Google and check it out. See what comes up. Also, try your name plus city and your full name. Often, each way will bring different results, and you'll be surprised on what you find. So how do you scrub this stuff after you find that your name is all over the world and folks can track you down? Say a thief is driving through your neighborhood and sees mail overflowing out of your mailbox. He walks by and he reads the name off of your wife's cooking magazine and pulls out his phone. Typing her name into Google brings up her Facebook profile. Her new profile picture with the family was just posted yesterday from your vacation in Dominican Republic. First day of paradise, it says. Well, the next day he comes back with his friends and they clean you out. This is unfortunately more common than you think. Check your security settings on social media and especially Facebook. You should be disabling indexing your personal social media profiles by search engines. This should prevent an online search of your Facebook profile name from bringing up in your profile. At a minimum, set your profile so that only friends can see your pictures, posts, and information. Check the online profiles of you and your kids to make sure that they don't have private information listed. Facebook, Google+, and online forums profiles are some of the places where your information may be made public. Your address, city information, and is most applicable to protect your house and your guns. Your birth date, phone number, and other information can be accidentally made public as well. Your full birthday with year is a key piece of data for identity thieves. The true year of your birth or age should not be posted online. And this is another reason to restrict visibility of profile posts to friends only, to hide the happy 30th post on your timeline. It's more secure to avoid using your surname in Facebook, especially together with your first name. For example, if your name is Willie Jess Robinson, a Facebook name of Willie Robinson makes it very easy for someone to find your profile in a Facebook search and any information you have made public there. If you instead use any Facebook name that doesn't include Robinson, like Willie Jess or Willie Sr., or you name it, black man with a gun, it'd be harder for a stranger to find your info. But I'm a different story there. Be careful about those free online services. It should be mentioned that, quote, free social media services are not really compatible with privacy, regardless of the security settings. The simple reason is, on any free internet service like Facebook, since you're not paying them, you are not their customer. Instead, your personal information and your eyeballs are the product they are selling to their actual customers. That's the folks who pay them. Several high-profile tech celebrities have stopped using these services for this very reason. Food for thought. Amongst other criticisms of these services, which aren't related to gun security. 5. Be invisible. Hide your ID on gun forums and anywhere else where your presence or membership reveals you as a gun owner. These sites permit anonymity for a reason. Most of these forums link to photo sharing accounts like Imgur and PhotoBucket. Make sure your account on that site is also anonymous and make sure it's private, or that stuff could be used to identify you. 6. This is one of my favorites. Misdirection. In your online profiles, you can also use misdirection to confuse thieves. If you must give a city, state, and other personal information, make it up. You can choose another town that has no connection to your name and use that. Perhaps where your favorite coworker or army buddy was from. This will be easy to remember and confuse someone else trying to find you. Number 7. Change your mailing address. Your address is shared with a large number of groups and businesses. Some common examples are clubs, doctors' offices, surveys, online petitions, children's sports teams, online shopping, magazine subscriptions, and the list goes on. Ideally, you want as few as people as possible to know your address. Why? Where all your valuables are. P.O. boxes are relatively cheap and a great alternative to giving out your address. And if you move around a lot, your mail address doesn't have to. Now that more and more bills are handled online, there's less need for you to actually have a personal mail address like it used to be. The U.S. Post Office actually offers a street addressing feature so that your mail and packages can be sent to a real street address and not just a P.O. box. Many private local shipping and printing companies also do that. Check into it. If you do want to save some money, and I want you to, you could share a post office box with relatives or friends. For those of you with their own businesses with physical locations, you can actually send your home mail there since you're usually there when it comes anyway. A lot of stuff, right? I know. But without spending anything, you can use a relative's address. If your mom comes over every week to look at your children, you can send your mail there and have her bring it over. Of course, using her address so that your house isn't targeted means that her house might be targeted instead. So that might not be such a good idea. But if she lives far enough away that a thief isn't likely to go there, lives in a lower crime area, or has a more secure home than yours, then this is a cheap option. Another option is to use online mail forwarding and scanning service. These services serve different customers for small business, travelers and RVers, to people in apartments that can't sign up for packages. With the largest companies, you can pick an address in many states and have your mail sent there, where it will be forwarded to another address and or scanned and emailed to you. See? A lot of stuff to think about. There was an old saying back in the WW2, loose lips sink ships. If you're familiar with operational security or OPSEC, then that's familiar to you. Treat your gun safe like a confidential family secret. In some parts of the country, everyone has a gun safe or a gun in their truck, but it's most secure to tell as few people as possible that you have a gun safe anyway. The fewer people that know about it, the less likely someone will break into it. That's the conversation you can have if you've blabbed about it before. The less people know about your gun safe and other personal security measures, the less likely a burglar will come prepared to deal with them. That means they'll be stuck looking for tools in your house to do the job, which is something you can take care of ahead of time. Don't discuss your gun collection. When sharing photos of your collection online, make sure to use anonymous accounts that can't be linked back to you. Don't brag about your guns or invite people you don't know to show them off. Even friends and family members can mean well, but from time to time, folks have too many drinks and start talking about everybody else's business but their own. Many people on gun forums post pictures of their collection or their safe fully stocked up. Make sure if you're going to do this that your personal information is concealed. Let's talk about cars. I would venture to guess that in much of the country, somebody who is a pro Second Amendment person or has a Gadsden flag sticker on their vehicle at least owns a handgun, shotgun, or a rifle. Hunting stickers may also identify a vehicle owner as a gun owner. Some parts of the country, the revelation that Bill has a gun sticker on his truck will be as shocking as Bill drinks coffee. The Virginia DMV even offers Gadsden flag license plates, which are relatively common. So how much this is a concern for you probably has to do with where you live. The visibility of the Second Amendment, political and hunting stickers, is the whole point, to draw attention to support for various freedoms. However, these stickers are visible to all manner of people all day while you're at work, in a store, parked at a friend's house, or even in your own driveway. In your driveway, if a sticker is visible from the road, it may be visible from anywhere in the world in Google Street View or the panoramic street photographs online. It's unlikely that some people you wouldn't like to discuss your guns with will be seeing some of these stickers. Unfortunately, this also applies to any sort of affiliation that might reveal that you're the owner of something worth stealing. Someone who breaks into your car after seeing a Second Amendment sticker will likely find your home address also in your car. Now they know where you live and where to find the rest of your collection. Things to think about. The rhetoric from anti-Second Amendment individuals can be extreme at times. You know they're worse than us. Based on these comments, stickers may also make you a target for vandalism. If these issues concern you, it's not a bad idea to keep your political activism targeted toward your grassroots organizations and your representatives, and refrain from putting these stickers on your vehicles. Point number 11. Around election time, political signs are everywhere. Putting a pro-gun sign in front of your home is a great statement, but it also advertises your gun ownership to everybody that drives by. Instead of put your signs in a place that doesn't reveal your location. How about this? Put your signs up in a place that doesn't reveal your location. Yeah. Point number 12. Talk to your kids. The loose lips guidelines go for children as well. We're still learning to differentiate between what's private and public. If that includes guns for your family, it's a good idea to sit your children down and distinguish between, quote, things we share about and things we don't share about. If a teacher is discussing guns in class and asks your child to contribute to the discussion, he or she might say, I don't think they're bad. My daddy owns lots of guns. And in these politically charged times, that's probably going to get the attention of other children who may go to your house and tell their parents that Mr. Blanchard was talking about guns today, and Peter Parker said his dad had a whole lot of guns in his house. One or more children in that class may turn out to be criminals in a few years, and their parents already might be. Point number 13. Be discreet. Do I gotta say anything more? 14. Be aware of who's in your house. A few people that come into your home are better protected. All right, and my last point. Be aware of who's in your house. The fewer people that come into your home, the better protected your firearms and valuables will be. That's less people to see a gun safe and other indications that you are a gun owner. If you have a plumber coming to do some work, you might have to take those frames down that say Winchester and Remington and Glock, or keep them in rooms out of where they can see your gun safe. Instead of having a new mattress delivered, have them drop it off at the front door and bring them the old one. Install that new TV yourself instead of having some potential flunky from a big box store drop it off. Check the references of any house cleaners or other people you hire to come in your house, especially if they have a set of your keys. I've seen where you hire a painter or a contractor that you like, that you know, that you trust, but they hire these shady dudes as their assistants, and those aren't trusted. Professional thieves may come to your door pretending to be window salesmen or local contractors to case out your house, or put on a new roof or a new solar panel. Tons of those guys. Don't let anybody in before they show their credentials. And that even can be false, because you can make up almost anything now. If you don't feel good about it for any reason, don't let them in. Your gut instinct is hardly ever wrong. If anybody comes to your door because their car broke down, keep the door shut and offer to call for help yourself instead of giving them the phone. There's just a few tips. Might seem obvious to you, but it's always good to share with you, your family, and everybody that you care about. And I care about you, and that's why I'm blabbing so. 'Tis the season for shenanigans, for crime. I don't want you to be a victim. Got me? Alrighty then. When I started this podcast back in 2007, one of my very first Facebook friends was an entrepreneur named Mark Craighead, who started crossbreedholsters.com. He used Kydex and leather, and the holster is comfortable, it's reliable, and has a lifetime guarantee. Visit crossbreedholsters.com today. crossbreedholsters.com. Next up is Michael J. Woodland from m-wtactical.com. Michael.
Thank you, Ken, and welcome to another Tips and Review segment. I am Michael Woodland, and today we're going to discuss preparing your EDC. Are you someone who wonders what it takes to have the proper EDC? Well, this response might shock you, but it is the truth. Whatever you like to carry is your EDC. Whatever your imagination can come up with is your reason for what you carry for your everyday carry. Oftentimes, you will hear people talking about this topic and making it more than what it is, but it really comes down to your way of thinking. My train of thought is to keep everything on my person organized and stay prepared for the unknown. I carry a minimalist wallet from Travax to keep my cards organized where I can thumb through them versus carrying a bulky wallet where it will get loaded with receipts, business cards, and who knows what else. As of now, this wallet has been serving me for over 2 years, and the only complaint I have is the hook and loop system is wearing off. I will upgrade to a new model wallet coming out soon. I keep my keys to a minimum only because I am the person who does not like clutter, and it makes it easier to figure out how my setup is to use the key. I just keep it simple. Since I like to carry an extra magazine when I can still carry my firearm, I will either carry a magazine holder on my belt or the holster a buddy of mine made for me with an extra magazine holder attached to it. The last thing I carry for my EDC is a combat application tourniquet, also known as a CAT. In the event something pops off, it's ideally made for my use, but depending on the situation, it is there to be used to help someone who is in need. As stated earlier, depending on your way of thought will determine what you decide to carry in your EDC. If you decide not to carry a firearm, what is your EDC around that thought process? What if you are the person who carries concealed and carry the AR or AK style rifle? What is your EDC comprised of then? Remember, there is no rule to say what you must carry, but what complements your desired way of thinking. Just a little food for thought. For those who are looking to contact me, visit blackmanwiththegun.com and under the About tab, click on my name, Michael Woodland, and shoot me an email or phone call. Please leave a voicemail or a text message, and I promise I will get back to you. Until next week, keep shooting, keep practicing, and have fun. Back to you, Ken.
This next portion of the show has been brought to you by Maryland Shall Issue. Maryland Shall Issue is an all-volunteer, nonpartisan organization dedicated to the preservation and advancement of gun owners' rights in Maryland. It seeks to educate the community about the right of self-protection, the safe handling of firearms, and the responsibility that goes with carrying a firearm in public. Join us today at marylandshallissue.org. The smart guys at Maryland Shall Issue came up with some verbiage that probably every Maryland gun owner should probably carry with them in case they are approached by law enforcement. And it's coming out of this monologue, which you're about to hear. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia described some laws that came before him in the High Court as, quote, statutes that should be the envy of every lawmaker bent on trapping the unwary with vague and uncertain criminal prohibitions, end quote. Justice Scalia unwittingly described Maryland's firearms laws, but especially those laws as they relate to handgun permits. On the front of Maryland's handgun permits, in bold red letters, it describes arresting the permit holder. No other license in Maryland does this. No other handgun permit in the nation does this. On nearly every handgun permit the Maryland State Police issues are restrictions which are described in vague and difficult to prove terms, often phrased as, quote, valid only when some conditions is met. The Maryland State Police have made clear under oath that their expectation is that permit holders waive their Fifth Amendment rights and describe how they are not in violation of the restrictions on their permits when questioned by police officers to avoid arrest. However, in doing so, anything they say may be used to prosecute them for violating their restrictions. Civil rights attorney A. Dwight Pettit, in his address at the Baltimore War Memorial, described numerous cases where he has defended people such as security guards and business owners who had handgun permits but were arrested anyway in being in violation of the restrictions placed on their permit, many of whom were minorities. Make no mistake, if a police officer is questioning you about the restrictions on your permit, he is trying to acquire enough evidence to arrest you. If you are the unfortunate victim of such questioning, you will most certainly not be offered the opportunity to talk with anyone other than the officer. So the only advice you will be getting will be from the person who may be arresting you. And if the officer has decided he would like to arrest you, nothing you can say will dissuade him from doing so. But anything you say may be used to convict you if you are arrested. Perhaps the safest thing to say might be something like, Officer, I am in full compliance with the restrictions set forth on my permit. I am sure you can appreciate that being questioned by the police is a very stressful situation, and I would not like to say anything under stress that might be incorrect or misconstrued. So, I do not wish to discuss this matter further with you. Therefore, I am invoking my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and my Sixth Amendment right to counsel until such time I have had the opportunity to obtain legal advice. End quote. Now, this is not legal advice. It is a suggestion for consideration. If you have a permit to carry a handgun, you should discuss with your attorney how such questioning should be handled. And this is especially true if you are a minority. One thing I have learned from being married is that it's very difficult to get into trouble when you keep your mouth shut. And that applies to most instances in life. This is from Brian Bissett from Maryland Shout Issue. If you carry a firearm, please consider getting self-defense insurance at the United States Concealed Carry Association. Go to uscca.blackmanwithagun.com today. They give you more than just peace of mind. They have a training group, first aid, and survival gear too. Go to uscca.blackmanwithagun.com and find out all they can help you with. uscca.blackmanwithagun.com. All right, this week I want to give you some tips about saving money in this industry, in this business. Why? Everybody's talking about Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday and Black Friday, and it's consumerism at its best. But how about us? How about us saving $1? I'm out here right now. I'm outside the studio. I'm in the shopping area watching folks just lose their minds. And I wanted to bring this home for you and me. Shooting sports can be expensive, very expensive. Not only the firearms you get can be costly, but how about where you shoot? And then how about ammo? Ammo can take you right out. But don't worry, with a bit of careful planning, unlike the folks here at the mall, you can save a ton of money and use that to either buy more stuff or save. Number one tip, you ready for it? Plan ahead and research prices before you shop. Now, this is an obvious thing for anybody in any industry, but the market for guns and ammunition in the United States is a very complex one. While there are traditional retails like Walmart and independent gun stores, much of the commercial activity is done person to person. Aftermarket sales. Somebody you know has a firearm that you want. This means that, like a used car, there is no specific retail price. Instead, it's important that you use online and offline resources to know exactly how much that specific firearm is worth. Once you've armed yourself with that kind of knowledge, then you can start saving some money. Since the chances are the other party is either one, asking too much, or doesn't know the value of the firearm, and then you can get a deal. Point 2. Bulk bullets can save money. But here's a caveat there. Not all ammunition is the same. Only buy what you need. As someone new to shooting sports, there can be a tendency to simply pick a cool-looking firearm without regard to the cost of ammunition and the maintenance for it. Am I right? Even a small variation in cost can add up fast. For example, if you look online for 7.62 by 39 ammo, you'll notice that some rounds are priced as low as 27 cents a round, and others are priced at like 60 cents a round. When you add it up over a weekend worth of shooting, that starts to become real money that you could otherwise spend on targets, gas, food, or whatever. Check out some stuff. Check out online places like ammo.com, and then you can check out the prices at luckygunner.com. Both are affiliates of this podcast. How about negotiation for prices at gun shows, swap meets, and pawn shops? Yeah. Once you're armed with the knowledge of how much your firearm is really worth, then you can negotiate. It's an art form. Gun shows, swap meets, and pawn shops, as well as person-to-person negotiations at the range, are all the best opportunities to find the best deals. Somebody's got something they want to get rid of. Maybe you got something that they want. Negotiation is a skill that takes years to hone to perfection, but it's the first step. The first step into saving some bucks. Now, when you walk up to various tables and you're sizing up the inventory, when you know someone has something that you want, the first thing you can do after that is to make an offer. I don't care what it says down there. I don't care what the price is quoted. Make an offer. You'll never get a better deal than they are asking unless you ask. So even if you save $5, $10, or even $20 off your first negotiated price, then that's money you wouldn't otherwise have. There is no lose in this. Not really. They still want to sell. Got me? Now look again for deals on ammunition. The same places that you're negotiating for firearms sometimes have ammo for sale. But that's not always dependable both as an ongoing source or reliable quality. But look. And if you have the safe and dry space to store it, then that could be a good option for you. Final point is range membership can be expensive. I'm a big fan of a high quality shooting range, especially when it's cold here in the mid-Atlantic. Problem is, shooting can be costly. When you count the ammo and the targets and all that stuff, you can buy bulk targets as well. If you find out what you like, you can even use plates and other stuff that you can staple and make your own. Yeah, buy your own range gear, eye and ear protection. Have that with you so you don't have to rent it from the range. You can save money that way. But how about looking for friends that have a farm or private estate large enough to afford safe space for shooting? It can save you hundreds and not thousands of dollars per year, but also provide the sense of personal freedom from being outdoors versus in a static shooting lane. Now, there's no magic bullet for shooting cheaper. Some people, like me, who don't live in the country, don't have a range nearby, live in restrictive states like Maryland, don't have a lot of options. But if you plan ahead, if you think about it, you can save money even though you're in a crazy place like this. And I got two bonus things for saving money that got nothing to do with guns. One of them is turn off the television. Yeah, I know. Cut that doggone cable. One big way to save money is to drastically cut down on the amount of television you watch. There are a lot of financial benefits to this. Less exposure to money-inducing spending ads and lower electric bills, lower cable bills if you don't cut it all together. And you can spend more time to focus on life, the important stuff, you know. And my final extra credit point is stop collecting and start selling. You know, there was a time when people thought that their collections would bring them riches. Do you remember Beanie Babies? They were a big fad at one time. Now you can find those items for resale on Craigslist and at garage sales for a fraction of their initial cost, leaving the people who sunk thousands of dollars into their, quote, investments wondering what the hell. If you want to avoid that situation, don't collect items of questionable value. If you want to recoup some money that you've already spent on some stuff, sell it now and use those funds for a number of worthy financial goals. Firearms, if you're not competing, if you found something that you like better, sell it. No need to hold on to it. Take that money and then put it somewhere more needy. You got me? You can save money. You can live better. You can make it. You can survive 2019. Just got to be armed with a little knowledge, a little preparation, a little thought. It's your mind that gets you in trouble. Amen, somebody? Amen. Need some ammo? Check out ammo.com. It's your best source for ammunition online. The shipping is fast, the customer service is good, and they sell name brands you can trust. Ammo.com. And if you like saving money as much as I do, use the link ammo.com/Black Man with a Gun. How cool is that? All right, that means it's time to roll on out of here. And if you've been listening, you know that this episode sounded a little bit different. I actually added some stuff to it and took some stuff away. Hopefully it didn't distract, and it entertained you, it informed you, it gave you something to think about. We talked a little bit about security and safety and saving money at the same time. Michael talked about the EDC, and we got something from MarylandShallIssue.org. I'm hoping you had a really good Thanksgiving event and folks were around the table and you got a chance to hug and kiss a few people and that love was shown where you are. Please become a supporter of this podcast. You can do so at patreon.com/Black Man with a Gun. There'll be links in the show notes in case you forgot that. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for you. I want to give a shout out to Don out in California, law enforcement officer who had some good feedback from me last week about the Jim L. Roberson podcast. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for keeping it real. A few nights ago, I was home alone and I heard a crash outside and I didn't know what it was and I couldn't see it in the dark. And I went out there in the daylight at sunrise and I still didn't see anything. What I found out just recently during the Thanksgiving holiday was that the herd of deer that love my yard had crashed through my wooden fence. And I guess they weren't that graceful at it, so they trashed it when they went through it. It's just like splinters back there. Big 6-foot part of fence is just destroyed. Yeah, they invoked the Elmer Fudd in me. I've declared war. But you can keep up with that on the Facebook page. I'm showing pretty much what's going on with that. I want to thank you for following me on all social media. I'm working on a new YouTube channel, blackmanwithagun.tv. Look for that and subscribe. If there's anything I can do for you, please feel free to contact me at blackmanwithagun@gmail.com. This is your friend and your brother from another mother, Ken Blanchard. And just in case nobody has told you this today, I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Until next week. Shalom, baby.